Well, sometimes you get up in the morning, you turn on your TV, you open up Twitter, or you open up your newspaper, and it's a lot of bad news. And I think there's nothing that's been more appalling than seeing Target aiming and pushing this whole idea of transgenderism and gender confusion on our kids to the point where the kids sections at Target don't just have stuffed animals and puzzles and toys for your kids, but they actually have apparel for kids that want to transition from one gender to the other. And it was particularly alarming the other day to learn that a Satanist has been involved in designing a whole product line at Target. This whole idea of embracing evil in our society, it's always been a theme in movies. It's the theme of novels, and sometimes the devil's even made to be almost a person or likable. But this is diabolical stuff, and kids need to understand there's a difference between good and evil. And I think everybody can see that there's real evil in trying to push into our kids' heads that somehow God made them wrong, or he screwed up the wiring when he made them. And we got to remember, if you believe in God, and I certainly do, that when he creates a life, he loves that life and makes it unique. And we all have our problems, and I think gender confusion is clearly an issue in society. But why would you want to push it on kids? Why wouldn't you want kids who are feeling uncomfortableness or have questions to deal with that in a way where they don't get told that, oh, there's a panacea here, you start acting like you're the other gender? And I think this is a very, very disquieting moment for all of us. And the embrace of Satanism in combining with this idea of pushing transgenderism on our kids is insane. And I think a lot of mainstream Democrats understand how insane this is. We've been talking about liberal Democrats of the past. Robert F. Kennedy is running for president. What would his father or his uncle think about transgenderism being pushed on our kids and gender confusion? What would his uncle or his father think about the embrace of Satanism and a Satanist to design clothing to confuse and propagandize and screw up our kids in Target? I read on Twitter that supposedly some of this merchandise is being pulled down. I guess we'll see what was pulled down. I'm sure it won't meet our standards for what should be pulled down. I guess sometimes it's inevitable you have to go to some of these stores because you're in a bind, but let's go to the mom and pop stores. Let's go to the places that respect our values. We also looked at Target's policy on abortions, and they're paying for the abortions of all their employees. They're paying to travel. They're paying their travel expenses in order to get to an abortion clinic. They're paying for the abortions themselves. Can you imagine that there was a time when people were pro-choice and they believed that we should just all make our individual choices on that issue? I'm pro-life. I didn't like the idea of the pro-choice mantra, but it was a lot better than this idea that somehow abortion is a public good, that all of us who use our money to shop at these stores have to start paying for everybody else's abortion. And of course, they want to use our taxpayer dollars for that as well. I mean, this is real evil that's going on in society. So if someone's pushing 9 months of abortion in Target, I guess we wouldn't be surprised that they also think Satan is an okay guy to pal around with. Well, I think for the vast majority of us, we are insulted by this. We find it disgusting. So what can we do about it? Well, we got to do more than just complain. We got to be careful where we shop. I think the Bud Light experience is a very important one as far as that's concerned. From my understanding of talking to people in the beer business, this has been a devastating hit to Bud Light. By the way, it's Anheuser-Busch and InBev who are the bigger umbrella companies associated with Bud Light. And there's a whole array of brands besides Bud Light that are involved in all this. And so what we're doing at CPAC is we're continuing to send our letters to the boards of directors of these companies, and we'll be sending one to Target to tell them that we expect this to end, the embrace of Satanism, the pushing of transgenderism on our kids. And by the way, protecting girls and women's sports, this idea that men can compete with women in their sports and need to have the apparel in order to do that so they look chic along the way of destroying the futures of our girls as they become important women in our society is just really, it's really wrong. It's really disgusting, and we're going to keep fighting it. So if you want to know more about our letter to Target, if you want to get involved in a petition to fight back against Target, please go to our website at cpac.org. You can read the letter, and you can add your name to those folks who are saying no more, hands off our kids. God bless you all, and let's keep fighting.